Okay, good morning once again. This is IELTS 2025 tips and strategies in all different subtests: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, of course. As you know, IELTS is composed of 4 subtests. For those who are new to IELTS and have not yet undergone the mock test, you might not yet know how the flow of the examination goes. But if you're going to book the examination under British Council and IDP computer-based test, it's chronological order. Okay, we have listening first, reading, writing, and lastly, speaking. Now, when it comes to the paper-based test, which is also scheduled via IDP in Pampanga, medyo iba yung flow. Uunahin yung writing. Pero kung hindi rin naman kayo mag-pen and paper-based test, you don't have to worry about that. Kung ano yung nakasanayan nyo sa mga mock test nyo, yun din naman yung flow ng exam. Chronological order yun. Okay? So why is it important to discuss these tips and strategies that are updated? Because somehow they change the variation of test items in the exam. Okay? Ano ba yung mga type of test na mas mabilis, mas lumalabas nowadays? Okay? So apparently, according to updated resources, may mga good news, tas meron din mga bad news. Okay? So let's find out all about that today. All right, so first let's discuss the lecture's objective today. Number 1, understand IELTS band scores. Okay, I will be providing links of band descriptors on our GCs. Okay, each band descriptor is different depending on the subtest. So we have band descriptors for listening, for reading, writing, and speaking. If I were you, reviewin nyo siya isa-isa. Okay? May specification doon. Band 6, ito yung level mo. You are a good communicator, however, you frequently make mistakes. Ganun yung band descriptors, okay? Why is it important for you to understand band scores? Because you have a target, right? Whether you are taking up a general training test or an academic test, you do have a band target, band score target. Or yung iba sa inyo, individual scoring yung target nyo, yung iba naman sa inyo, overall band score ang target. It depends on the institution, on universities, colleges, or yung kung saan kayo may employ. If you're going to migrate abroad, it really depends kung anong visa yung ina-applyan nyo, alright? It varies depending on your situation. Okay? So, sino ba dito academic? So, we have Noel, right? Noel and Zara, both academic. So, what is your target band score? 6.0, okay. And Zara? 7. And John? Okay, 5.5. So, hindi naman din masyadong nagkakalayo. So, yeah. It's important for you to know the band descriptors in order for you to gauge nasa ang level na ba ako and how much effort do I still have to make in order for me to level up to the next band score. Okay? Halimbawa, nagpa-assess ka kay Ma'am Shannon, kay Sir Kevin. Okay, sa speaking, ito muna yung level mo. Naka 4.5 ka, okay? And then sa writing naman, if you submit a writing output, bibigyan ka rin ng score ni Sir Kevin at mag-gauge mo rin kung nasang level ka, okay? And then through your mock tests, listening, reading, may score na agad after you take the mock test. Pero syempre, hindi nyo yung dadayain, ha? Of course, you have to be transparent and truthful to yourself na hindi mo i-refresh kada pagkakamali mo. Eventually, makakakuha ka ng perfect score. Hindi ganon, okay? You have to honestly get the score para malaman mo nasaan na ba ako. Okay? Because if you identify what your band score is right now, we can give you tailor-made comments and suggestions through coaching kung ano pa ba yung mga areas na kailangan nating i-target. For example, medyo poor si Noel sa grammar. More on grammar lectures ang atenan mo at more on sa grammar ka mag-focus. Let's say naman si John, poor siya sa lahat. Charot. Charot lang naman. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan niyo focusan lahat. Ibig sabihin, sa isang linggo, kailangan makalimang mock test siya. Di ba? 5 times a day, 5 days a week, ganon. Okay? May joke lang dyan, ha? Okay, so, that's why it's important for you to know the band score. So, bago ko pa makalimutan, if you know how to access British Council website, madali lang naman yun, guys. Wait lang, ha? Andun lahat ng gusto nyong malaman about band descriptors. Pero kung gusto nyong isa-isahin kong ibigay, okay lang din naman. Kasi for the tamad talaga kayo mag-search, eh, no? Alam ko yan! Okay. So, wait. This is the main page of British Council. Sisend ko to sa schedule group chat natin. Oh, sino nag-add sa'yo, Noel, sa GC? Hindi mo napansin na may invitation. Ah, okay. Sabi ko sa inyo eh. Alright. So, ayan yung pinaka-page ni British Council. You have to know how to navigate on that page. Kasi marami kayong makikitang mga tips and strategies din doon. Okay? So, mamaya ko na isa-send yung bawat band descriptor. Okay. Second objective is to learn 2025 strategies. Okay? Relevant din naman ang strategies noong 2023, 2024, pero syempre, we have to acknowledge the updated ones, right? Which is 2025 strategies. Because according to these tips and strategies, that's how you will know the trajectory of the results of your IELTS. Kasi nga, itong mga tips and strategies na to, ayon lang naman sa kung ano yung mga exam na lumabas nitong 2025. Okay? Syempre, i-apply din naman nila yun sa 2026. Although there will be subtle changes, but at least we are updated with the changes that they've done in IELTS examination. And of course, another objective for today's lecture is to be able to know how to apply the practical tips. When we say practical tips, ibig sabihin, huwag na tayo dun sa mahirap na pamamaraan. Doon na tayo sa way na medyo easy and effective. Diba? Kasi yun naman talaga yung goal natin eh. I'm not saying that your IELTS journey is going to be an easy one. It's actually tough and challenging, especially if you have a low English level. It's okay. We all start sa low, okay? That's why you're here. That's why you're here in the review center, because you need help. You need coaching. You need guidance. And there's nothing to be shy about that. So, nagtataka talaga ako sa mga students na nag-enroll sa review center, pero ayaw magpa-coaching. Like, how does that make sense, guys? I've been reiterating the fact that this batch has been so intimidated when it comes to coaching and evaluation na kahit may mga coaching sessions tayo every Thursday, ang nakikita ko lang sa listahan, 3, 4. So, huwag kayong ma-intimidate sa coaching. Yes, we will be judging your level. We will be judging your skills in speaking, writing. But the thing is, you have to be open to judgment. Why? Because you will not identify kung ano yung weak areas mo kung hindi ka magpapa-coach. And we are going to give you those practical tips in order for you to easily navigate your journey towards the target band score, 'di ba? So ang target mo ay 6.0, right? Let's say your current level is 5. I have not yet assessed you because we have not had any interview yet. But let's just say that your current level is a 5. So anong target mo? Maka 6? Is that your target? No. Nagagalit ka, ma'am? Hindi ako nagagalit. I'm just saying, hindi yun yung target mo. Because ang target mo ay maka 6.5 or 7. That's your target within your IELTS journey. Kasi hindi tayo magpapaka-play safe lang sa 6. If you're consistently getting 6.5 and 7, that's the sign that you take your exam. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, you're fully equipped, you're 100% ready, at wala ka ng hesitation na kakabahan ka pa sa 24 hours before the results kasi alam mo sa sarili mo, medyo kulang ka pa. Hindi mo pa naibigay lahat. Tawan-tawa naman to si Zara. Okay? Pero pag alam mong nakakakuha ka na ng 6.5, 7, yun yung time na parang, okay, ma'am, I need a final assessment. Sir Kevin, give me a final assessment. Okay? Huwag kang magpadala or magpa-pressure sa mga sinasabi ng mga kamag-anak mo. Nag-exam ka na. Ano, tambay ka na lang lagi dyan sa Pilipinas? Ganon. Or, kailangan na magamit yung show money. Ganon. Mga ganong excuses niya, no? Take your time because IELTS is it's not cheap at all. You paid for your examination, for your review. Magkano? 7.5? Or nakahabol sa promo? Sino nakahabol sa promo? Parang yung sa promo, tinataon talaga ni Sir na ano eh. Nakapag-enroll na kayo, saka siya magpapapromo, no? Okay, I'm just kidding. So anyways, guys, 7.5 yung review. Baka tumaas pa to sa 2026. Alam niyo naman, inflation. Lahat na lang ng bagay nagmamahal. Buti na lang yung mga bilihin nagmamahal, di ba? So, inflation and all that, yung exam, bali-balita ako, tataas din. Right? So, hindi siya biro kasi currently, it's 14K sa branch na to because you're in Cabanatuan branch. If you go to the main branch, medyo mas mura yata. It's around 12.5. Pero kasi if you pupunta ka pa ng Manila, you're gonna book accommodation. The cheapest accommodation there is probably 800. Pero kung gusto mo sa cozy and aesthetic vibe, syempre mga nasa 2.5, 3K yan per night, right? Sa mga condo units. So imagine the hassle, transpo pa, gas. Ang mahal ng gas, ang mahal ng pati yung transpo fee. I was in Manila last weekend. Sa kagustuhan kong makaiwas sa traffic. Sumakay na ako kahit 250 yung singil sa habal-habal. Alam niyo yung habal-habal? Angkas, ganon. Naka-skirt pa ako noon, maiksi yung skirt ko. Sabi ni kuya, sumakay ka naman. Una sabi ko, ay, parang ayoko kasi naka-skirt ako eh. Pero sabi niya, inalok niya ako ulit. Parang nakita ko yung pila. Sobrang haba ng pila. Oh my God! Sa paghihintay ng taxi. And it's gonna be traffic. It's gonna be heavy traffic because it's peak season. Everyone is shopping, diba? So, di ba, ang mahal ng Grab, ang mahal ng habal-habal and everything. So, dito, convenient. At least familiar ka na sa lugar, di ka na maliligaw. Depende na lang talaga sa'yo kung may iwan mo pa yung ID mo on the very day of the exam, di ba? Mamaya bibigyan ko rin kayo ng tips on the examination date kung ano yung mga kailangan yung alalahanin. Okay? Kasi may mga test takers sabi, oh, minessage ko, na-prepare mo na ba yung outfit mo? Or na-prepare mo na ba yung ID mo? Kasi kung ano yung ginamit mo sa registration, yun din yun. Ay, ganun ba, ma'am? Kailangan nandito ka na ng 1 hour before the test. Or 1.5 hour before the test. Ay, ganun ba, ma'am? Bala ko pa naman pumunta ng 8:45. Sabi ko, no. You have to know the instructions properly, right? Okay, so build exam confidence. All right, after this lecture, my aim is for you to build exam confidence. Why? Because we will tackle all the 4 subtests and somehow you will gain knowledge. Sana, di ba? You will gain knowledge and you will learn the other practical tips and strategies after this lecture. Do you have any questions? Wala naman. Okay. All right. As I said earlier, you have to know your target band score. Ganito lang yun. If you don't make goals, long-term goals, it will be difficult for you to know what are your choices every day. You have to have long-term goals and small or short-term goals na makakapag-lead sa'yo sa long-term goal mo. Okay? So, first, you have to have a target. So sabi ko nga, 6.0, no, right? Ang target natin 7, right? Or 9, Niners. Kaya nga Niners, di ba? Kinaganon dito kung di ka makaka-9. Or hindi, joke lang. What I mean is, yun lang yung name ng company, pero not really. Huwag kang ma-pressure. Yun nga, one score higher than your target band score, we're already safe. Makakapasa ka, okay? Yun naman talaga yung target ng lahat. And huwag kayong masyadong ma-disappoint sa sarili nyo if hindi nyo man ma-hit yung target nyo kasi IELTS is not an intelligence test. Yung iba kasi, hindi lang nakapasa, hindi na bumalik sa pagre-review, tinigil na rin yung pangarap. So, huwag kayong masyadong malismaya. Gano'n lang talaga. Medyo minalas ka lang sa coach. Minalas ka lang sa coach tuloy. Ano ba yan? No, 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 no. Minalas ka lang sa examiner kasi masyadong strict. Diba? Subjective din kasi ang judgment ng mga examiner. So, or baka, may nangyari sa'yo nung a week before the exam. Nakipag-break si tapos dinibdib mo yun, hindi ka nakafocus sa exam. Uy, kala nyo nagjo-joke ako, pero totoo yun. If you are not emotionally stable, you wouldn't get a high score on your IELTS. Kagaya ko, nung unang mock test ko, hindi ako nag-breakfast. Grabe, nagugutom ako noon, tapos hindi ko alam na tuloy-tuloy pala siya ng 1 hour each. Diba? I was like, heck, hindi ako mag-focus. So, importante pala talaga yung sinasabi ng mga coach na make sure that you're physically conditioned, you're emotionally conditioned, spiritually conditioned. Okay? So, sino dito yung hindi nag-mute? Ang ingay, ha? Charis. Joke lang, guys. Ingayan nyo pa, sige. Oh, ayan, naka-mute na all. Right, okay. So, this is a general overview of the band descriptors. On band 6, clear communication skills, but some mistakes. You still commit mistakes on band 6. Halimbawa, yung band 6 yung tuloy-tuloy naman sumagot sa interview, pero grammatically incorrect yung ibang sentences. Or nagkakamali sa paggamit ng vocabulary. Imbes na adjective, naging adverb, ganon. And then sa band 7, ayan, you are well organized. Yung flow ng thoughts mo, you can express yourself in a more accurate manner. Okay? Even in writing, you know how to organize paragraphs well. And band 8, of course, eto, natural ka nang nakikipag-conversation sa coach mo, confident ka na, and precise na. Relevant na lahat ng mga sagot mo sa mga questions, both in writing and in speaking. So that's why an important tip is to study the band descriptors first. Kanina ko pa sinasabi band descriptors, hindi nyo alam kung ano yung pinagsasabi ko dito. So sige. I will open a new okay. Para naman may visualization kayo. What I'm talking about. So, example, speaking band descriptors. So, yan. Dito muna tayo sa 0. Para naman di kayo ma-overwhelm. O sige, shinare ko pa, hindi nyo naman din mabasa. Sobrang liit. Pero try natin i-zoom. Okay, so guys, ito ha. Makaka-zero ka kapag hindi ka umattend. Malamang. Common sense na lang yan, guys. Nag-expect ka ng score, hindi ka nga umattend, di ba? Ang isang dahilan lang naman kung hindi ka makaka-attend ng exam mo. Yeah, okay, probably. Urgent situation, an emergency happened, or nakalimutan mo yung ID mo. Very strict very strict on the exam date. You have to bring the ID that you used in registration. That's the only ID that you should present on the actual examination, on the registration time. So, another reason is hindi ka aware sa dress code. So, nag-shorts ka habang mag-e-exam ka, di ba? Bawal shorts, bawal yung hindi closed shoes, and definitely bawal yung mga nakasando, okay? Medyo kailangan, although sa ibang bansa, balita ko, inaalaw nila yun sa Australia. Like, hindi sila ganun ka-strict pagdating sa mga ganun. However, Philippines, I don't know. Pero, tama lang din naman because you're going to take the top one proficiency examination in the world, which is IELTS. Tapos, ha? Okay naman, but I suggest that you wear something with collar. Collar, okay? Okay, so yan. Pag band 1 ka, speech is totally incoherent. Walang maintindihan sa'yo. Ganon. Ba't ka pa pumasok? Ganon. No communication possible kasi tinitigan mo lang si examiner, hindi kayo magkaintindihan. Ganon. Um, Unintelligible. Oh my God, ang sakit naman ng unintelligible. Okay, so yun na nga. Wala talagang kakayahang makapag-converse in English. Band 2 is when there are lengthy pauses before nearly every word. Ganito. I studying no. Ganon. O, naiintindihan niyo ba? Medyo. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi daw siya nag-aaral. Kaso nga lang, band 2 nga, kaya maraming lengthy pauses. Isolated words may be recognizable, but speech is of virtually no communicative significance. Ibig sabihin talagang wala eh. Alright? Pero medyo may nasasabi naman siya kumpara sa band 1. May ilang words siyang nasasabi in English. Ganon. No evidence of basic sentence forms. Ganito yon. Can you tell me your name? I know speak. Ganon. Okay? Walang basic sentence form. Akala nyo yung iba hindi nagkakamali sa, can you please tell me your name? Can you please tell me your complete name? Nagkakamali din yung ibang students dito. Tinanong ko lang naman, can you tell me your complete name? Ang sagot niya, hi, I am Mark Anthony Fernandez. I am married. Ay, sabi niya, I'm single and I'm 27 years old. Tama ba yung sagot niya na yun? Tama yung una, pero kasi ang tanong lang, tell me your complete name. So kung ano lang yung tinanong, yun lang yung isasagot mo. Wag mo nang dagdagan ng information na hindi naman necessary kasi wala namang pake si examiner kung married ka na or single. Kasi hindi to dating dating interview, di ba? Okay, so band 3. Frequent, sometimes long pauses occur while candidate searches for words. So, basahin mo. Sa fluency and coherence, ito ba yung level ko? Sa lexical resource, ito yung vocabulary, okay? Vocabulary inadequate for unfamiliar topics. Ibig sabihin, mali-mali yung pinoprovide niyang words, lalo na kapag hindi niya naintindihan yung topics. Okay? Basic sentence forms are attempted, but grammatical errors are numerous. Ibig sabihin, sobrang daming grammatical errors. Okay, so, yan. Reviewin nyo na lang yan ha. Sasend ko yung mga link na yan later sa GC natin. Don't worry. Hindi ko kayo pababayaan. Charis. Okay, so, that's the importance of knowing your target score and kung saang level ka na right now. Okay? So, we will begin with listening. So, the key tip in improving your listening is smart practice. Pag sinabi natin smart practice, ganito lang yun kasimple. First, you have to practice. But you have to practice smart. Baka naman kasi sabi ni ma'am, oh, manood kayo lagi ng mga foreign movies, mga foreign podcast, makinig kayo, okay? Pero ang pinanood mo naman yung may Indian accent. Ang pinapanood mo naman, K-drama. Oo, foreign yun. Pero ang target natin, yung may... ang target natin, guys, yung English speaking, which is British accent, Australian accent, and of course, the standard or the neutral accent, which is the American accent. All right? So, maraming paraan. Kasi we are all living now in the digital era. So you can't give me any excuse na hindi ka makapag-practice ng listening. You have to be willing to do this, okay? If you started your review today, medyo mawawala ka sa momentum kasi bakit ka nag-enroll ng December? Alam mo naman na maraming festivities ang December, Pasko, Bagong Taon, tas kung taga Nueva Ecija ka pa, may Three Kings pa. O di ba, sunod-sunod. Taga Nueva Ecija ba kayong lahat? Sineselebrate din ba dito sa Cabanatuan yung Three Kings? If you're Catholic, right? So, yeah, yon. Sobrang extended ng mga festivities. Talagang mawawala kayo sa momentum. So, lahat ng tong sinasabi ko ngayon, baka makalimutan nyo na rin. Kaya nga ba ayaw na magpa-attend ng lecture ni Sir Kevin eh. Pero at least, may na-absorb pa rin kayo, okay? I know it's gonna be hard kasi maraming events, Christmas parties, whatsoever. But you have to be intentional. Okay? You have to really be intentional because marami akong feedback na naririnig, hirap na hirap sila sa listening. Kasi karaniwan na lumalabas na accent ay Australian and British. Okay? Sobrang hirap tsempuhan ng American. So you have to train your brain, train your ears to listen to British and Australian. Yung American English, sanay na tayo dyan. Lumaki tayo sa Pilipinas kung saan ang second language natin ay English. Right? And I believe meron naman kayong Netflix and other streaming apps, YouTube, Spotify, or whichever. Okay, so what you do is, iset aside mo muna yung mga K-drama or kung ano namang gusto mong pakinggan or panoorin. Mag-focus ka muna sa kung ano yung gusto mong i-sharpen sa listening skill mo. So, let's say meron kang road trip. Kasi ngayong panahon na to, mahilig kayong mag-outing, di ba, ng family. So, habang nasa road trip, it takes you hours of staying inside the vehicle. Or sabihin na natin, nasa bus ka, nasa car ka, whatever. Listen to a podcast. Be productive. Yun yung smart practice. Or habang nililinis mo, general cleaning mo yung buong bahay nyo, meron ka naman siguro ng earpods or headset, whatever. Or i-full blast mo yung speaker sa bahay nyo para damay-damay na to, ganun, di ba? So, yun. Pag nagreklamo yung nanay mo na maingay, di ba gusto mong umabroad ako, ma? So, para sa atin to. Ganun. Okay? So, yan. In the listening test, the audio file is only going to be played once. Bawal mo na siyang i-back, walang ganong option. Okay? So, you have to make sure that when you're listening, you focus on the keywords. Hindi lahat ng nakasulat sa test, yun ang mismong sinasabi sa audio. Kaya dapat marunong ka sa synonyms at saka antonyms. Kasi pinaparaphrase nila yan. Okay? Nung umpisa, hindi ko rin makuha yung technique kung paano ko sasagutan yung listening. Pero ang ginawa ko, inulit-ulit ko sa isang araw, puro listening mock test lang ginawa ko. Then, nung medyo confident na ako, nakakuha na ako ng matataas na score sa listening, yung following week, sa reading naman ako nag-focus. Di ko lang sure kung effective kasi pinakamababa ko yung reading eh. Effective naman yung strategy na yun, okay? Listen to different accents, alright? So, advantage dito kung sino man yung may mga kamag-anak abroad or yung may mga jowang afam. Diba? Diba? Meron dito eh. In-name drop ko ba? Charis. So, advantage sa inyo yun. Kasi, kausap niyo sila everyday or frequently. Diba? Or kung gusto niyo, ako kausapin niyo. May bayad nga lang. So, yan. Predict answers before listening. How? Binibigyan kayo ng time. You have, sasabihin ng prompt, you have 2 minutes to read the questions. 1 to 10. Mga ganon, okay? So, ang listening natin, meron siyang 4 na parts. Each part ay 10 items. Tama ba? Hindi ko din sure eh. Pero check nyo na lang ulit, okay? Pero pagkakalam ko, 4 parts, 10 items each part. So, 4. And then sa reading, 3. Sa writing, 2. Tama. So, paano mo mapapredict yung answers? Kapag binasa mo mabuti yung mga tanong. Okay? Look for the keywords para kapag pinakinggan mo na yung audio, okay, ito pala dito. Pero be careful kasi tricky. Minsan, may babanggitin muna siyang mali, sa kanya babanggitin yung tama, kasi nga, manloloko siya. Charis. Hindi, kasi nga, yun talaga yung exam. It will trick you, okay? It will check kung magaling ka ba mag-interpret ng mga passages. Assessment test nga siya, di ba? Check spelling and plural forms. Ayan, very important yung spelling ha. Isa sa mga rason kung bakit hindi nakapasa yung iba naming students is ang hina pala talaga sa spelling. Pag mga ganon, wag na mag-review sa review center. Siguro, hire na lang ng private tutor. Charis. Hindi. Kailangan familiar kayo sa spelling. Okay? So, the only way for you to improve your spelling is reading. Yun lang yun talaga. Okay? Minsan napapansin ko, medyo nahirapan ako sa spelling. Kasi ngayon, nasa digital age tayo, kung saan yung mga chat text natin, shortcut. Ewan ko sa inyo kung paano kayo mag-text or chat, pero I really, pet peeve ko yon yung may nakikita akong maraming shortcuts. Yung tipong Morse code, Morse code na yung text ng kaibigan mo, no? Hirap na hirap kang i-interpret. So, ayun. Plural forms, importante din. Hindi porket, yun yung word pero may S, may ES. Hindi always tama pag ganon. So, i-double check nyo yun mabuti. 10:30 ako magpapabreak. Okay, so sa reading naman, it's very important to manage your time. Dito ako maraming naririnig na feedback. Bakit ba yun naka-on? Hindi na siya gumagana. At wala naman akong mic. May ADHD ka. Biglang na iba yung attention no? Mahal ang kuryente, need nating magtipid. So, in reading, isa sa mga pinaka-common na feedback na naririnig ko, kinapos ako sa oras. It's a 1-hour test. It's a 3-section test. 3 parts, part 1, 2, 3. Each part has a very long passage. Mapa general training, mapa academic, parang walang difference sa hirap. Reading is really one of the hardest subtests for me. Although sinasabi ni Sir Kevin, writing talaga yung mahirap. For you. Charis. I mean, for everyone. Pero para sa akin, reading. Kasi reading is all about interpreting the passage and the questionnaire. Kasi it's really meant to confuse you. Diba? Parang yun yung section ng IELTS na parang kailangan kong pag-isipan mabuti kasi 14K to, diba? Parang, wait lang. Sinasadya nyo ba? Kasi gusto nyo magbayad ulit kami? Kasi ang hirap talaga ng reading. Di ba? Anyways, vocabulary-wise, very academically inclined ang vocabulary ng IELTS reading. So, kung hindi ka talaga nag-e-effort na mag-practice, well, you're not gonna make it sa reading. Maraming nag-fail sa one skill nila sa reading yun. Okay? You have to know how to manage your time effectively kasi you only have 20 minutes per section. Akala mo mahaba yung 1 hour. Pero sa totoo lang, pagdating sa reading test, ang bilis. Ang bilis ng oras. Lalo na kung babasahin mo yung buong passage. Right? That's why it's very important you know how to skim and scan. Ma'am, yun ba yung sa cellphone, i-scan yung QR code? Hindi yun, okay? This is skimming and scanning. I'll tell you the difference. When you're skimming, you do not read every word. It means looking over a text fast to understand the topic, the main idea, the general meaning. Okay? So, pag skimming, let's say merong passage dito, hindi mo siya babasahin bawat sentence. Babasahin mo siya ng mabilisan lang para makuha mo yung main idea. Okay, ito yung topic dito. Okay, it's a skill that you develop eventually if you repeatedly do it. Okay? And how will you skim? Of course, you read the title, you read the headings and subheadings, yun yung main topic, and then yung topic sentence, and then may mga iba't ibang topic sentences. Read the first and last sentences of paragraphs. Look at keywords, bold words, or pictures. Okay. Yes, minsan may mga pictures din yung mga passages, right? So make use of that as well. Keywords din, syempre, yung related sa title, yun yung mga keywords talaga natin. At saka, kung ano yung nasa questionnaire, hahanapin mo. Basahin mo mabuti yung question, tapos saka mo siya skim sa passage. Okay? Usually naman, yung questions 1 to 5, makikita mo siya sa passage sa paragraph 1. Di ba? Tapos sunod-sunod na yun. Ganun lang naman yung technique. Yun yung skimming, guys, ha? Pabilisan mong babasahin, tapos you're going to try to find the main idea or the general meaning of the paragraph or the passage. When it comes to scanning, it's a little bit different because when you're scanning, you look for specific information. Okay? Let's say sa questionnaire, the date when this occurred. This event occurred. So, syempre, hahanap ka ngayon ng keyword na may date. Tapos basahin mo kung ano yung mga context clues. Saka mo ma-identify na, okay, yun yung tamang sagot. Kasi it saves you time instead of reading the whole passage. And napaka-importante ng time management pagdating sa reading. Okay? So, balikan natin. Underline keywords. So, lahat naman dito magko-computer-based test, right? Alam niyo na kung paano mag-highlight, mag-underline, mag-take ng notes. Although hindi ko ina-advise na mag-take ng notes kasi it's gonna eat up a lot of your time. So, highlighting is advisable kasi somehow babalikan mo yung word na yun. Okay, balikan ko to later, baka mamaya relevant siya. Okay? So, yun. Make use of technology and the technical side of the the computer-based test. Okay, another tip is answer easy questions first. Skip mo na lang kapag mahirap. Kesa magtagal ka sa sobrang hirap na isa na yon, tas ma-miss out mo na, no, mawawalan ka na ng oras dun sa ibang pwede mo pang sagutan. Saka mo na lang siya balikan pag kaya mo na. Ba't parang may ibang meaning yun? Diba? Balikan mo yung mahirap na part pag medyo nakadami ka na ng sagot na sure ka. At least, isa lang yung hindi ka sure. Diba? Eh, ma'am, hindi ako sure sa lahat. Problema mo na yun. Okay. Um, practice. Ay! Ba by the way, sa reading, isa sa mga updated version ng IELTS test 2025, nabawasan na ang matching headings. Di ba isa yun sa pinamahirap? Siyempre, hindi pa alam ni Noel yun kasi hindi pa siya nagma-mock test. Isa sa mga type ng test kasi is match the headings. Ibig sabihin nun, kung ano yung pinaka-topic sentence, ima-match mo siya sa questionnaire. Okay? Medyo mahirap siya, okay? Kasi parang kailangan basahin yung buong paragraph, ganun. So, nabawasan na yung frequency ng type ng test na yon sa reading. Which is so good. Okay? Napalitan na siya ng iba, pero mas madali. Okay? Practice with a timer. Ayan. Tuwing umaattend kayo dito ng mock test, every Tuesday and every Thursday, mapapractice niyo yung with a timer kasi may timer yung website, di ba? Now, if you do have a conducive place to take the mock test at your houses, you can do that. Pero kasi karamihan sa mga students, they go here kasi nga maingay sa bahay nila, may mga bata, hindi makafocus, ganon. Pero kung meron naman kayong place where you can do the mock test, you can have it done in the convenience of your home. Okay? Mas maganda lang din dito kasi at least nafa-familiarize ka na kung saan ka magte-take ng test. Siguro naman lahat kayo dito na kayo magte-take ng test, di ba? Ay talaga? Bakit? Ah, okay, yeah. Sa Pampanga nga talaga available yon. Practice with a timer. Um, that's a very good tip in managing your time. Definitely. Do you have any questions about skimming and scanning? Buti naman. Okay, move on na tayo sa... Parang medyo mabilis ah. Okay, writing. Isa sa pinakamahirap. The only key for you to develop your writing is to keep practicing. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, magpasa kayo ng writing outputs nyo every week. Okay? So, let's say meron kang 3 to 4 months to study IELTS, which means 4 weeks per month, 4 writing outputs per month. That's a total of 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 3 is 12. So, ganun kadami yung kailangan nagawa mong outputs. And we are actually advising you to at least submit 10 writing outputs within your review period. Kasi may mga weeks ka pang tatama rin, di ba? May weeks ka pa na, lalo muna, tumudugo na yung brain ko. So, let's put into consideration yung mga weeks na lazy weeks. So, ayun na nga. Pero kung kaya nyong maging consistent, why not? Kasi consistency is key in everything. Okay? Because the only way for you to improve your writing is to keep writing, keep practicing, and keep getting assessment from your coaches. Okay? So in writing, this is the general overview, pero mamaya meron, iisa-isahin natin yung task 1 academic, task 1 general training, task 2 essay writing. Okay? Every test, dalawa lang naman yan. Writing task 1, writing task 2. Writing task 1, you have to be able to come up with 150 words at least. Pero syempre, papasobrahan natin yan kasi ayaw naman nating kulangin, di ba? Mahirap yung kinukulang. So, gawin natin 170 para safe. Nagbago na? Wait lang. Yung writing task 1 po, 150. Pero may writing task 2 pa po kayo. Yun yung 250. Pa-Gcash na lang po ah. Just kidding. Yun nga. Sa writing task 1 ng GT, letter. Gagawa kayo ng letter. Sa writing task 2, both academic and general training, you will come up with an essay, which is 250 words minimum. So the thing is, aling task ang uunahin nyo? 2 or 1? Why? May tendency kasi na magbabad ka sa task 1 at mawalan ka ng oras para sa task 2. Ganoon naman talaga eh. Charot! Oy, totoo guys! Ganun yung nangyari sa akin! Inuna ko yung task 1! Kasi hindi ako nakikinig ng lecture ni Sir Kevin! Yes, that's right. But what I'm talking about right now is your time management. So, totoo yun. Kasi ang nakalagay na tip dun sa task 1, you have approximately 20 minutes to accomplish this task. Pero hindi ako nakinig. 30 minutes ako. Ngayon, nakulangan ako ng oras sa task 2. Pero natapos ko naman siya, tsaka mataas naman yung score ko. Well, just kidding. Di ba? Pero yun nga, pinagsisihan ko yon kasi nga inuna ko yung 1. Di ako nakinig ng lecture ni Sir Kevin. And isa pa sa mga pinagsisihan ko ng malala ay yung nail extensions ko. Di ako makapag-type. So girls, wag kayong mag-iinarte sa test day ah. Wag na kayong magpa-nail extensions at mahihirapan lang kayong mag-type. But the number 1 tip is understand the task. Sa task 1, may task description. Task 2, may task description din. Basahin mabuti, intindihin mabuti. Okay? So it's very important for you to attend the lectures and watch the replays. Okay? And also, to come up with writing outputs. Para the more na nakakapag-practice ka, the more na na-familiarize ka sa kung ano yung mga task descriptions sa writing. Kasi pag hindi mo talaga naintindihan yung task, mamamali ka ng input. Okay? Mamamali ka ng content. Ayaw natin yon. Kasi relevance and coherence of your content has a very big, you get scored high, okay, according to the content of your writing output. Plan before you write. So, binibigyan kayo ng scratch paper ng test invigilators. Ano gagawin sa scratch paper? Tititigan lang ba yun? Hello po. Hindi. Gagamitin nyo siya to lay out your outline. Okay? So, parang hindi nyo doon isusulat tapos transfer nyo pa, encode nyo pa. Hindi. Kaya nga kayo nag-computer-based test for you to be able to just encode it right away. But the thing is, planuhin mo muna. Do you know the quotation, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? And i-process nyo muna yun. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning is really important because a lot of problems occur, a lot of confusion gets in the way if you don't know your writing outputs layout or kung saan patungo yung writing mo, okay? So, una, intindihin mo muna kung ano yung hinihingi ng task description, plan it, make an outline, avoid templates. Maraming templates kayong mahanap online. Pero guys, hindi naman kasi tanga ang mga examiner para di niya mag-gauge kung kinopy mo lang ba, minemorize mo lang ba. Kasi makikita niya yung inconsistencies mo. Okay? So, wag na kayong mag-attempt na gumamit ng templates. It's a language assessment test. Dito talaga gusto ng examiner makita kung ano na ba yung level mo pagdating sa writing. So, wag na tayong mag-templates. Give a lot of examples. Kasi pamparami din yan ng words. Time management, I already discussed this. Unahin yung task 2. Priority yon kasi mas malaking score makukuha mo. Kagaya ng sabi ni Sir John. Di ba? Mas malaki yung score na makukuha mo kaysa sa i-prioritize mo yung 150 words. Check your work. If marunong ka mag-time management, magkakaroon ka pa ng extra 2 to 5 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes para i-double check mo. Dinouble check ko ng malala yung sa akin. Ang daming spelling errors. Kasi nga, naka-nail extensions, diba? Nag-inarte ang babae. So anyways, guys, dito muna tayo sa general overview ng writing. Mamaya na natin pag-usapan yung task 1, task 2 ng academic, tsaka general training. Let's go on a 5-minute break. So sa mga nasa Zoom, please go get your coffee or anything. I'll see you in a bit. Business siya at thankful ako kasi may work ako because of this. Sorry na lang. Anyways, well, let's proceed. So, in writing task 1 academic, you're going to ask to interpret statistical data. Numbers. Okay? Percentages, proportions, data. Mahirap siya, okay? So you have to just limit kung ano yung ilalagay nyo na content. The target here on the academic writing task 1 is for you to be able to describe the main trends. Kung ano ba yung nakikita nyong big changes at points of comparison. Yun yung i-highlight yung information. Hindi nyo kailangan ilagay kung bawat figure at bawat proportion na makikita nyo, hindi nyo siya ilalagay kasi parang, what's the sense of that? Di ba? I-describe mo lang kung ano yung nakita mo. No, not like that. In writing task 1, dito gustong malaman ni examiner if you are capable of interpreting the statistical data that is being presented on task 1. So, sabi nga nila, IELTS is not an intellectual test, but somehow it is. Kasi kung hindi ka naman talaga intellectual, paano mo naman may interpret yung statistical data na yon, right? Ako, aminado ko, I'm not good with math or logical thinking. Pero okay lang yun kung hindi ka talaga magaling doon. But the thing is, kaya namang pag-aralan. Di ba? Kaya namang practicein. Avoid listing all numbers. Yes. Do not add all the figures, just the important ones. Okay? Basahin yung mabuti yung task description. Kung ano lang yung relevant sa task description, yun lang din yung content nyo. And of course, comparing the data that is important. And of course, use clear structure. So, make sure na yung bawat paragraph nyo, alam nyo kung ano yung content ton. So, sa first paragraph nyo, which is introduction, 3 main parts lang naman sa writing eh. Intro, body, conclusion. Okay? Pero yung body, pwede nyong i-change. Pwedeng 2 paragraphs lang, 3 paragraphs lang, depending on your interpretation and of course sa matitirang oras sa'yo. Kasi di ba, uunahin mo yung task 2. So, kung ano lang talaga yung matirang oras. Pero magbibigay ka pa rin ng konting allowance because you need 2 to 5 minutes to recheck everything. Kasi sayang naman, kapag di mo pinasadahan yun, may mga maganda sana yung score mo kaso marami kang spelling errors or typo errors, di ba? Sabihin na lang natin typo errors para hindi naman masyadong masakit. Di ba? So, pag nirecheck mo, at least, may mababawasan kang points for deduction. So, yun. Sa writing, very important, well-organized. Hindi yung meron kang ine-explain na isang topic and then you jump into another topic. Kaya nga siya paragraph eh. Kasi bawat paragraph, isa lang yung topic sentence doon. Okay? Halimbawa, meron kang um, binabasa na suddenly it was about a certain topic and then nag-add ng irrelevant details sa mga kasunod na sentences, it wouldn't make sense, right? So always remember, you have to have a good structure when it comes to writing. Now, of course, for general training students, it's easier for you kasi letter writing. Pero I don't consider letter writing so easy. Kasi sa task description ng general training students, general training writing task 1, meron din doon bullet points. So, matrabaho din tong letter writing. Although, hindi siya kasing hirap ng statistical data interpretation. Okay, so sa writing task 1, kailangan familiar ka sa different types of letters. Hindi yung love letter na sinasabi dito Yung letters na pwede mong gamitin in the work. Magbibigay po ako ng PDF file nito, so sana hindi ako kasama sa picture. Kasi baka mamaya pangit yung angulo ko dyan. So guys, di ba? Ano ba yung iba't ibang letters? Letter of application, complaint letter, resignation letter, invitation letter, letter of apology. Okay? You have to be familiar with all the types of letters that could possibly come out on task 1. Follow the basic letter structure. If you attend writing task 1 specifically made for GT students, mas detailed yung explanation nitong letter structure. Pero diniscuss ko rin yan, I think last week. Yeah, I discussed like the common mistakes in the IELTS. So, sige na nga, papakita ko na nga yung PPT na yun. Para naman may idea kayo sa kung ano yung sinasabi ko dito. Wait lang. Ganyan. Ito. Sa mga medyo matagal na students dito, napapansin nyo, ni-revamp ko ang mga PPT. Ganda, di ba? Pag di nyo sinabing maganda, lagot kayo. Just kidding. So anyways, ito ang format. Yan, types of letters, invitation, application, resignation, recommendation. Pinaka-common yung complaint letter and request letter for general training. So this is the letter format. I-replay nyo na lang yung lecture ko last week. Kaka-upload ko lang din nun sa YouTube channel ko. So makikita nyo dyan, yung letter format, greeting, opening, or the purpose of the letter, the body paragraphs, which could be 1 to 3 paragraphs depending on you and the ideas that you come up with, and the bullet points, closing statement, sign off, and your name. So diniscuss ko yan isa-isa last week. If hindi kayo naka-attend, replay nyo na lang, okay? So balik tayo dito sa topic natin. Okay, answer all bullet points. Sige. Magbibigay ako ng isa pang example. Okay. So let's say that your task description says, you should spend about 20 minutes on this task. So yun yung reminder. You have recently moved to a new country and you need to write a letter to a friend in your home country. In your letter, number 1, explain why you moved to this country. Number 2, describe the new place you're living in. And number 3, invite your friend to come and visit you. So those are the bullet points, which kailangan nandun siya sa content ng letter mo. Bakit ka nag-migrate? I-describe mo daw yung bago mong tinitirhang place. And i-invite mo yung kaibigan mo na bisitahin ka. Okay? Write at least 150 words. You do not need to include any addresses. So, hindi na siya yung typical na letter na susulat mo pa yung address mo doon. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga isa-send. Ang gusto lang naman ng examiner, ma-check kung alam mo yung main parts ng letter. Okay? So, pay attention sa tone. Ayan. Use the correct tone. Ang sabi dito, you have recently moved to a new country and you need to write a letter to a friend. So, pag sinabing friend, informal letter to. So, very casual lang yung language mo. Yung tone ng words mo at vocabulary mo, kailangan akma sa type of letter. Invitation letter to a friend. Informal lang. Ibig sabihin, pwede kang magsabi ng, please come visit me. I am free on December, second week of December until the end of December. If I were you, grab this opportunity because there are so many amazing festivities in our city. Pero kung formal ang tone, let's say you're inviting your boss. Okay. You're inviting your boss to your wedding. I am cordially inviting you. Mga ganun na yung tone kasi formal na siya. Okay, so it's very important na intindihin mo yung task description para alam mo kung ano yung tone na gagamitin mo. Kasi writing is academically inclined, but at the same time, you have to also know what is the task description asking you to do. Okay? Kasi dito malalaman ni examiner, okay, nag-gets niya pala na kailangan casual lang yung tone. 'Di ba? Okay, so use clear, simple language. Hindi kailangan masyadong magpa-impress kay examiner, ha? Ang importante lang ma-express mo yung gusto mong sabihin in a clear and simple way. Hindi yung gagamit ka pa ng highfalutin words kasi pabibo ka, di ba? Noon pala mali-mali yung konteksto ng pag pinaggamitan mo ng word na yon. So, wag ganon, okay? The simpler, the better. Okay? Less is more. Pero syempre, kailangan mong ma-hit yung quota na 170 words or at least more than 150. So, you have to add more paragraphs. Paragraphing is important. Make sure that your ideas are organized in each paragraph. Each paragraph should have one topic sentence. Kung ang pag-uusapan lang natin sa introduction, so meron tayong sa letter, dear friend nga yung i-invite mo. Let's say your friend's name is Anna. Dear Anna. And then yung first paragraph mo naman, how have you been? Mga ganyan. Kasi informal lang naman eh. I'm writing to let you know that I have already migrated to Kansas. Mga ganyan. Tapos, yung second paragraph naman, example lang yun Yung second paragraph naman, explain why you moved to this country. Yun lang muna yung pag-uusapan nyo sa paragraph na yun. Bakit ka nag-move? You know what? I have been clinically diagnosed with depression ever since I broke up with Harold. So I decided to start a journey with a clean slate. Mga ganun, okay? Siyempre, i-share mo nga kung bakit ka nga daw lumipat nag-migrate eh. Friend mo naman yung kausap mo, so okay lang yun. We broke up because I caught him cheating, mga ganun. Okay? So, tapusin mo na yung paragraph na yun. Move on to next. Describe the new place. One thing that excites me so much about this new city is that I get to live in my own space. Mga ganon. Describe mo yung place. I live in a condominium with a two-bedroom unit with a spacious living area And I also have my own kitchen, mga ganyan-ganyan. And then describe mo na marami kang kapitbahay, the community is safe, mga ganyan. Okay? And then lastly, invite your friend to come and visit. Syempre, you can indicate there, kailan ba yung best time na pwedeng mag-visit yung friend mo? Kailan ba yung mga seasons? Malay mo, 4 seasons sa place na yon. You could come over during summer season. There are so many music festivals here, like Coachella. Coachella! Pangarap ko yun eh. Pag-attend ng Coachella. Okay, so everything clear ba sa general training writing task 1? Nakapag-try na po kayong mag-letter writing? Hmm? Why not?
Kaya lang ginawa ko po yun. Hindi ko po
Mas gusto ni Sir na print out niyo po.
Hindi ko pa po kasi ganyan.
Lecture.
Kaya,
Actually,
po ako nagsulat
generalized to eh.
para
Hindi pa to masyadong detailed. Usually si Sir Kevin yung nagbibigay ng lectures about writing. Pero I will challenge myself to start mastering writing lectures para naman versatile tayo, okay? I do conduct writing lectures with my Korean students. Gina-guide ko sila sa writing. So, pero iba kasi yung IELTS talaga eh. Alright, so writing task 2, which is essay writing, 250 words. Ito yung ipaprioritize natin. Okay? Ito si top priority. Kasi nga, 250 words. Pero syempre, pasosobrahan natin siya, 270 words. It's really important for you to have to present various vocabulary in writing task 2. Well, both naman, 2 and 1. Pero, very important to avoid repetition. That's why you have to be knowledgeable about different synonyms and antonyms. Okay? Ayaw ng examiners na maraming paligoy-ligoy bago mo ibigay yung sagot. Kasi usually sa writing task 2, do you agree or disagree? 'Di ba? Ano pa? Ano pa yung mga iba? State your opinion on this. So, ang dami mo pang paligoy-ligoy, saka mo palang sasabihin. Hindi ganon. Gusto agad sa first paragraph, meron ka na agad topic sentence. Kasi yun yung, dun mo ma-identify yung parameter ng essay mo. Kung hanggang saan ka lang. Okay? Kasi hindi pwedeng ma-off topic ka. Kung ang topic sentence mo is, I agree that, let's say your topic is something about environmental issues. I agree that there should be higher fine on people who would commit illegal logging. Okay? So, clear na yung thesis statement mo. Agree ka na gusto mong taasan yung fine sa mga mahuhuling illegal loggers. Ngayon, sa mga conceding paragraphs mo, kailangan naka-indicate na ron yung main reasons kung bakit ka nag-agree. At saka magpe-present ka din ng solutions, ganyan, okay? So make sure that each paragraph has clear topic sentences. You state your reasons and you also have to provide realistic examples. Kasi syempre, if you provide more examples, the more chances for you to provide more words. Eh yun nga yung goal. Pero alam nyo guys, konti lang yung 250 words ah. Kasi sa isang lesson ko sa Korean student ko, pinapagawa ko siya ng 300 words. Para lang matenga ako dun. Sige, sulat ka lang dyan. Ganun. Ang bilis niya natatapos. At saka maiksi lang talaga. 300 words yun ah. Isang ganun lang siya oh. So, very doable si IELTS, 250 words. Yun nga. Kailangan, you're knowledgeable about vocabulary. You have a good sense of lexical resources. So the only key is to keep reading because that's the only way for you to actually improve your vocabulary. If you invest time in reading, it doesn't sound easy, I know, because hindi na natin habit yung reading ngayon. Everything is so fast-paced. You have your phone, you just keep scrolling. Before you know it, naka 200 reels ka na in an hour. Oh my God. Totoo. Yeah.
Yung mga, siguro po nakakuha ng books ako, pero 250 lang yung score. Yan.
What do you mean?
Ah,
200 words yung essay mo and then,
yung, opo, pero 250 lang yung points din na ako.
what is 250 points?
Di ba 250, 250 words po kung kailangan. Di
Aha.
ba nag score sa ilalim sa may...
Aha, okay.
Ah,
Kung nakailang words ka na. Ang nakalagay doon, 200 lang.
opo, sa bilang, baka po nasa 400, pero 250 po yung...
Baka po naduling kayo. Charot.
Tama ko, sabi ko, Brad, tingnan mo po, bakit ang haba ng 70 pa lang? Tapos, ano po ba yung pag...
Baka technical error.
Oh,
Technical error lang siguro sa page.
parang pag naulit-ulit po ang words,
Wala naman ako na-encounter na gano'n.
Kasi,
Baka kailangan nyo lang po i-refresh yung page. Talaga?
kaya akala ko po na, ay, nahirapan pala tayo dito. Akala ko po sa task 1, kapag ginamit ko na yung pang words, ginamit ko ulit sa task 2, hindi na siya. No? So,
Ano po?
parang kung bang ayaw yata maulit yung mga words. Kagaya ko namin po, English. Mahina lang po yung English namin. Yung sa 250 po kasi nung una, 253 sa baba, parang nag-uulit-ulit na lang kami, basta mapuno lang namin.
Copy-paste nyo lang po.
Hindi lang po, iba po, iba yung tax 1 na tax.
Aha.
Pero yung 250 po nung una, ang mabilis lang po, halos 250 po talaga. Pero yung baba po, kumbaga po sa instances, naka 13 instances ako doon sa tax 1, doon sa kabila ay halos 23 instances bago ko na-reach yung 50 words.
Ngayon lang ako naka-encounter ng ganyan. Baka po may something wrong lang sa website. Na mali lang ng count. Maybe, probably, during that day, nag-crash kasi sobrang daming nagmo-mock test. Anyways, again, you have to avoid memorized templates. Kahit sa PTE, ang daming memorized templates doon. Pero, yun nga, mas okay din talaga na spontaneous. Okay? Because the examiner can identify it if you're not spontaneous or if you're spontaneous. Okay, now let's talk about speaking. This is an isolated test compared to listening, reading, and writing. Kasi talagang after lunch break pa si speaking, which is an interview. At ibang-iba siya kasi 15 minutes lang yung maximum time. So you can stay in the speaking room for 12 to 15 minutes depending on your performance. Yung iba naman nakaka 8 minutes lang kasi wala talagang masabi or anything. But the goal is to reach 12 to 15 minutes maximum period, okay? For me, speaking is the easiest part of IELTS. Kasi 15 minutes lang siya, tapos ka na. Okay? Pero I understand that a lot of you are very much intimidated with interviews. Probably kasi hindi ka naman sanay na makipag-usap sa foreigner. Or talagang introverted ka at hindi ka sanay na makipag-usap sa taong kakikilala mo lang. It is a factor, okay? Akala ko kasi before, oh, ba't ka nahihirapan na makipag-usap? Pero then, we all have different personalities. Okay? So, may mga introverted, may extroverted. So, yung iba naman, sobrang kinakabahan na pagdating sa actual na speaking test. So, that's why these tips are going to be really important for you to narrow down your steps and your yung galaw mo pagdating sa interview, okay? Again, no memorization. You just have to speak natural. Why? Because in the speaking test is going to assess how well you understand questions and how well you can come up with answers, effective answers. Okay? Number one tip, be positive about the speaking test. Huwag kang masyadong kabahan. So, meron tayong speaking room. It's right before the computer room. Kung nakapasok na kayo doon. May isang small room doon, may door, yun yung speaking room. Sometimes doon ako nagpapa-coaching para lang makita nyo kung ano yung loob ng speaking room at saka magka-idea na kayo kung how it feels to be in an actual interview. So, may chair sa labas ng interview room. Pag ikaw na yung next, wait ka lang doon sa chair, di ba? Grab that opportunity to relax yourself because I know it can get really stressful. You can get anxious. Pero very important na meron kang presence of mind and relax ka. Kasi if you're not relaxed, it will affect your performance a lot. Okay? Hindi importante na perfect lagi yung grammar mo. Because even native speakers make mistakes with grammar. At ibig sabihin lang din dito, huwag kang masyadong overconscious sa sarili. Ay, nagkamali ako sa pronoun na to. Wala na. Ayoko na sagutan yung task 2 tsaka 3. Exit. Voluntary exit yun. Hindi ganon, okay? Huwag masyadong dibdiben yung mga pagkakamali nyo. Just go with the flow. Ang importante, you just keep going. You don't give up on that specific mistake, okay? Speak clearly, kasama na dito yung audibility. Meaning, make sure na before the exam date, hindi ka pumarty at hindi mo in-exhaust yung vocal cords mo, kaka-videoke or whatsoever, or kakainom ng cold drinks. Kasi if your audibility is low, like paos ka, or uubo-ubo ka, it will highly affect your performance. Okay? Speak clearly, ibig sabihin, walang masyadong paligoy-ligoy. Direct to the point agad yung sagot. At relevant dapat yung sagot sa tanong. Okay? Alright. Extend your answers. Always in the back of your head, why? How? Give examples. Example, I ask you, what's your favorite hobby? Basketball. Very nonchalant, di ba? Basketball lang daw, okay. So, of course, you can answer it in a way, for example, one of my hobbies is playing basketball. It's actually the most famous sport in the Philippines. And a lot of Filipinos love watching basketball on TV or online. I myself play basketball on the weekends when I meet my friends because I think it's a good exercise and at the same time, I get to bond with my brothers and friends. O, di ba? Hindi siya ganun kahaba, pero malaman. Di ba?
Ang pagkukulit ba, tanong po sa akin. Yun lang po sinagot talaga namin, playing basketball.
Wala nang, hindi mo na in-explain.
Opo, kasi yung kanina po ay sa what show name.
Okay, so sa umpisa, the examiner is going to ask to present your ID just to verify your identity. Baka kasi hindi mo nakamukha yung nasa passport mo. Either pumayat ka, either tumaba ka, or masyado kang maganda sa personal pala, ganon. Examiner, alam ko naman, hindi talaga ako photogenic. So, pero ako talaga yan. Ganon sinabi ko sa... Charot, hindi ko sinabi yun. So, syempre, lalapit mo yung ID mo para makita niya. Medyo malayo yung yung upuan tsaka yung computer. Pero minsan yung test invigilator nilalapit niya sa gitna yung computer, which is good. Pero kasi importante nakikita ni examiner yung half body mo. Kasi Kailangan niya makita yung hand movements mo. Because actually, your body projection also speaks. Your eye contact, your hand gestures, your facial expressions, the tone of your voice, all of those contribute to a good speech delivery. Okay? So, a naturally good speaker can make hand gestures without hindi yung pilit, okay? Did you know that intelligent people, yung ko lang sabihin, intelligent people are known to be natural in hand gestures. Tapos biglang gumanong-ganon si Mama. Yung natural lang ang tingnan. It means that the person has effective communication skills. All right? So I want you to practice that. Kasi when you release tension, you actually release tension when you use hand gestures. Okay? Yung iba sa atin, personality nyo na yung maging very timid lang, nonchalant, and tahimik lang sa gedli, ganon. But you need to be a little more animated and expressive. Hindi para i-impress si examiner, pero para maitawid nyo yung message na gusto nyong sabihin, right? And once in a lifetime lang yun, galingan nyo na. Use natural fillers. Hindi naman masama mag-fillers like, wag lang sobrang dami. Not excessive. Kailangan may tamang timing. 'Di ba? Lahat naman ng bagay kailangan ng tamang timing. So, for example, tinanong ka, where would you like to travel if you had the chance to go on vacation? I think I would pick Switzerland. Because Switzerland is easily one of the best countries in the world. Ganon, di ba? May fillers ako, pero I used it in a very effective way. Kasi parang indicator lang siya na, nag-isip siya. Di ba? Nag-isip siya. Hindi niya agad-agad sinagot yung mga bagay. Kasi kailangan finifilter nyo sa isip nyo kung ano yung isasagot nyo. Baka naman kasi ang sinagot nyo, I wanna go to Afghanistan. Tapos nalito-lito ka pa sa tamang pronunciation, di ba? Tapos hindi mo naman ma-explain yung Afghanistan kasi hindi ka familiar sa mga words na accustomed sa Afghanistan. Hindi mo pala alam yung mga places doon na sikat. So sabihin mo lang, I'd like to go to Singapore. Where the Merlion is, mga ganun. Di ba? So easy to explain Singapore. O kaya, sige, Philippines na lang siguro para madali-dali. Don't memorize answers. Sa task 1, feeling nyo kaya nyo kaming dayain sa pagme-memorize nyo, Hindi talaga siya maganda pakinggan. Okay? Isa sa mga students, sinabihan ko siya na maganda yung sagot mo. Grammatically, it's good and kompleto, relevant naman, but it sounds so robotic. So when we say be natural in speaking, it means don't sound robotic. And you will only sound robotic if you memorize what you're saying or what you're about to say. And if you only have one tone or monotonous, kailangan may variation yung tone mo. Pag nagtatanong ka ng question, why are you here? Compared to, why are you here? Di ba? Iba yung tone. Pag monotonous yung tao, very dull yung interview. And we don't want that. We don't want your examiner to get exhausted sa sobrang boring mo kausap, di ba? Minsan nagbibigay ng comments si Sir Kevin, the interview was really dull. He's gonna straightforwardly tell you that it was a dull interview. Ako medyo sinusugarcoat ko kasi yung mga comments ko eh. Kasi people pleaser ako. Charot. But what I mean is, maganda rin naman na very frank siya para ma-realize mo rin na, ay oo nga, medyo dull nga talaga. And another way for you to practice is record yourself. Okay? Meron naman siguro lahat. Yung cellphones yung may voice memo. Alam niyo, natatawa ako sa ibang mga, students. Hindi nila alam na may voice recorder yung cellphone nila. Ako pa yung humahanap. So I was like, just go to voice memo kapag iPhone voice memo. Pag Android, hindi ko pala alam pag Android. Uy, ang sama na ugali. Hindi, wait lang. Hindi ko kasi alam yung ano yung apps. Kasi the last phone that I had was Samsung. At very traumatic experience yun for me because nakurap lahat ng files ko. So, sinave ko lahat ng mga academic files ko. Kasi di ba ang Samsung pwede siyang gawing parang SD card, gano'n. So, na-virusan siya. Nakurap lahat. So, imagine lahat ng research paper at saka writing outputs ko nandun. Which is my bad. Pero nung time kasi na yun, hindi pa uso yung Google Drive at saka kung ano-ano. So, talagang once it gets a virus, it will be corrupted and you cannot retrieve it anymore. Right? Recorder. Record yourself. Para pakinggan mo rin. At saka para ma-check mo kung naaabot mo ba yung sa task 2, nakaka 2 minutes ka ba? Kasi very important na maka 2 minutes ka sa task 2, ha? Marami sa inyo nakaka 1 minute lang, which is not a good sign. Kasi kailangan talaga 2 minutes or more yung sagot mo sa task 2. Sa task 1, iga-guide ka pa ni examiner Kasi tatanungin ka niya ng iba't ibang tanong. Sa task 2, kinda you're on your own there. Kasi babasahin mo lang yung task description, yung task card. 1 minute lang yung preparation time. And then that's it. You're on your own. So, sa task 1 ka lang naman pwedeng mag-memorize, pero sa tingin ko hindi na dapat, okay? Well, you have to memorize some things like ano yung name ng parents mo or ano ba yung university na pinag-aralan mo or yung workplaces na kung saan meron kang work experience. Kasi baka nakalimutan mo na, i-refresh mo yung utak mo kasi baka ang itanong sa'yo, tell me about your work history or how did you start your career, mga ganyan, okay? Vocabulary and grammar. These are really important. We do have minor lectures on vocabulary and grammar. Every week, meron. So, ako ang lecturer pag vocabulary and grammar. So, ang kailangan kasi sa IELTS, hindi mo naman kailangan maging sobrang studious kung saan need mong basahin yung buong dictionary. Hindi ganon, okay? What you need to do is familiarize yourself with phrasal verbs, yung mga words na magkakasama, and then they play one unit. And of course, chunk of vocabulary words na magagamit mo talaga. Lalo na sa task 1, very predictable ang mga tanong sa task 1. Pero kung ako sa inyo, lalo ng academic students, kailangan aware kayo sa mga latest trends, latest news about society, about environmental issues. I don't think may itatanong about political issues, pero may mga tinatanong sila about world leaders. Okay? Hindi naman siya sobrang technical, pero gusto lang malaman ni examiner kung kaya mo ba lusutan yun? Okay, kasi may mga time na yung topic na lalabas sa task 3, sobrang hindi mo na magets. Kasi probably hindi ka masyadong expert sa field na yon or sa topic na yon. But it's okay. You can honestly just tell the examiner, I'm sorry, but I'm not well knowledgeable regarding that topic. But rest assured, as soon as I get home, I will search online resources and learn about this topic. Okay lang. Ganun yung ginawa nung isa naming student dito at naka 8.5 siya sa speaking. Hindi niya kasi pinilit. So, yun yung essence kapag hindi mo pinipilit yung mga bagay-bagay sa buhay mo, di ba? Hindi ka nahihirapan! Okay, so, yun guys. Assessment test naman to ng speaking skills. Hindi naman patalinuhan. So, very considerate ang mga examiner. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang nun, may iwasan mo ang mga grammatical errors, vocabulary errors, kasi bawat error mo dyan, may point deduction. So, ba't mo pa pipiliting sagutin yung mga tanong na hindi mo naman alam, di ba? At saka hindi naman kasalanan sa Diyos na hindi mo alam yun. Ganun lang talaga. Hindi rin naman ako maalam sa lahat ng aspeto ng kung anong nangyayari sa mundo. Aminin ko, I hate topics about politics. I'm not so, what can you say? How can you say this? Yes.
Pwede po ba magpaulit ng tanong?
Of course. Actually, that's the only thing that you can ask from the examiner. That's the only question that you could ask. Could you could you please repeat the question? Ay, sorry, kanina sabi ko bawal mag-memorize. Yun lang yung pwede mong i-memorize. Could you please repeat the question? Pero i-memorize mo din yung iba pang paraan. Like, I'm sorry, could you say that again? Baka naman kasi puro, could you please repeat the question? Siyempre, mababawasan ka sa vocabulary nun, di ba? So, baguhin mo naman sa susunod na ipaulit mo. Pero, may nakapasa dahil sa pinaulit-ulit niya yung tanong.
Ginawan mo.
Kesa sa kesa sa kesa sa nag-assume ka na alam mo na yung tanong na mali ka tuloy ng sagot. Okay, hindi advisable na sabihin na pardon kasi incomplete yon. Pardon also means excuse me. So, if you're gonna complete it, I beg your pardon. Ganon, I beg your pardon. Pero kasi mas safe if bubuuin mo na, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. Could you say that again, please? Or can you please repeat the question para safe? Pero wag naman para kang robot dun. Can you please repeat the question? Ulit-ulit, no? Pero mas okay na yon. Hindi ko naman sinasabi pag hindi mo na agad alam yung isasagot mo, honest ka na agad na, I'm sorry, I'm not knowledgeable about this topic. But don't worry, as soon as I get home, I will study about it. Hindi naman agad-agad ganon. Listen to the keywords muna. Ipaulit mo muna yung tanong, baka sakaling pag inulit niya, may pumasok na idea sa isip mo. Exhaust all efforts before you raise the white flag. Di ba? Ako kasi personality ko yon. Hindi ko muna susukuan yung isang bagay hanggat, alam niyo naman, mga Pilipino, very resilient. Di ba? So, it's more important to be accurate than to come up with difficult or complex words. Okay? Mas okay na tama yung paggamit mo ng mga simpleng salita or simpleng expressions kesa naman nagtatry hard ka, hindi naman pala tama yung pagkakagamit mo. Kaya nga hindi advisable gumamit ng maraming idiomatic expressions sa speaking. Mas lalo naman sa writing kasi very informal ang idiomatic expressions eh. You have to learn topic-based vocabulary, cluster of words. For example, alam mo naman na sa task 1, ang itatanong sa'yo, do you work or do you study? Siyempre, you have to be knowledgeable about English words related to your field of study. Hindi nga ako nakapag-aral. O sige, to your field of work. Diba? So, sabihin mo, I worked as a welder in Japan for 7 years. Ngayon, kailangan alam mo yung mga English words related sa pag-welding. Okay? And then, hobby. Let's say your hobby is playing badminton. Siyempre, kailangan alam mo yung tawag sa shuttlecock, kung ano tawag sa court, sa serve, 'di ba? Kasi i-explain mo nga siya eh, 'di ba? And maganda 'yon kasi sa task 1 pa lang nagpakitang gilas ka na marami kang alam na vocabulary. So, sa task 1 pa lang maganda na yung impression sa'yo ni examiner. Kasi talaga naman, first impression lasts, right? Control basic sentences. Ayan. When making sentences, you have to make sure na marunong ka rin gumamit ng transition words. Kasi it would sound, even in writing, it would be so blunt and boring if you don't have any transition words, such as furthermore, moreover, however, also, unfortunately, actually, mga ganyang transition words. Kasi pakinggan mo pag tinanong kita, what kind of genre are you into? Do you like listening to music? Yes, I love listening to music. What kind of genre are you into? I'm into pop music. I like Blackpink. They are so amazing. I attended the concert last month. It sounds robotic, di ba? Pero kung lalagyan mo siya ng transition words such as, yes, I love listening to music, especially pop music. I'm a big fan. In fact, I'm a big fan of Blackpink. It's a K-pop girl group who's very famous internationally. Recently, they had a concert and I was there. O, di ba mas maganda pakinggan? Pero hindi totoo yung nandun ako. Invento ko lang yun. Di ba hindi halata? Kasi believable yung pagkakasabi ko. May imposter syndrome pala to si mama, no? Okay. Reduce repeated errors. Okay. Kapag na-realize mo na nagkamali ka sa pronoun, i-correct mo na siya sa isip mo. Iwasan mo ng, iwasan mo na. Sabi nga nila, di ba? If you make a mistake for the first time, it's a mistake. But if you repeatedly make the mistake, it's no longer a mistake. What is it? Stupidity. Charot. Hindi. Kasi di ba, syempre, kailangan you learn from that mistake. So, don't do it again. Don't repeat it. Okay. Now that I'm gonna share with you a very good short study plan that you could implement. Sana lang talaga ma-implement nyo kasi nga, di ba? Pasko na next week. Balikan nyo na lang siguro yung lecture nito. Ma'am, paulit na lang siguro ng lecture sa January, no? Para ma-refresh, ma-motivate ulit. Ganyan. So, we have here a very short but effective study plan for 2026. So, number one is allot 30 to 60 minutes daily for studying IELTS. Ito din yung advice ko sa mga speech students ko when we are about to perform a speech. Kaya sabihan ko sila na huwag kang mag-cram. Ang ginagawa kasi nila, a night before the speech presentation, saka sila mag-memorize. Mahilig tayo sa cramming di ba? Kasi bakit ko naman gagawin? Mas masarap gumala, mas masarap mag-doom scrolling sa phone. Guys, you have to be very intentional and wise with your time management because whatever effort you exert today, it will affect your future score. Kung ano yung ginagawa natin, it can be a general thing. Whatever choices you make today affect your future. Kaya wag mong questionin yung sarili mo kung bakit nandito pa lang ako. It's probably because the choices that you made yesterday, now you're living the results, the consequences of it. Right? But of course, we're still alive, may pag-asa pa, 'di ba? So, wag masyadong tumambay sa thought na parang wala pang nangyayari sa buhay ko or parang wala pang nangyayari sa pag-aaral ko, sa IELTS journey ko. Doon tayo sa positive note. What can I do now to change that? Kasi maraming students dito, andito pa ba kayo? Ilang months na kayong nagre-review? May target date na ba kayo? Kasi kailangan meron kayong long-term, short-term goals dito. Hindi pwedeng porket 1 year yung validity ng review, iwa 1 year mo din yung pagre-review mo. 'Di ba? Yung iba kasi hindi pressured kasi Wala namang hinahabol na deadline, wala namang na-pressure na kamag-anak. Pero give yourself a deadline din, 'di ba? Kasi guys, nagsasawa na ako sa pagmumukha nyo. Pwede yung iba naman. Charot lang. So, 30 to 60 minutes, akala mo lang na malaking chunk yan ng 24 hours mo. But the thing is, it's not. Mas matagal ka pang nakatenga sa phone eh. Sa umaga, ilang hours kang nakatambay. Oh my God, guilty ako dun. Parang motivational talk to for me. Okay, so weekly mock test and coaching. Weekly mock test and coaching, very important. So ngayon, we will end the lecture in a couple of minutes. Whoever wants to have coaching session with me, let's go. Kung ayaw nyo, edi okay, makakauwi ako maaga. Review mistakes. Self-evaluation. Siyempre magpapa-evaluate ka sa akin, okay, Sir Kevin. Pero gumawa ka din ng konting self-reflection. Lalo na matatapos na yung taon. Okay? Magmuni-muni ka, punta ka muna sa nature. Huwag kang tatalon sa cliff, ah. Ano lang, siguro self-reflect lang. Ano na ba yung gusto kong mangyari sa buhay ko? Ganon. Am I doing the important steps in order to achieve those goals or not? Use AI wisely. Yes, we have AI. You are so blessed to be living in the digital era. Pero, wag na wag kayong mag-chat GPT ng writing output kung ayaw nyong i-trigger si Sir Kevin. Okay? Talagang he will straightforwardly tell you, don't submit that to me ever again. Kasi ma-identify niya talaga if chat GPT yun or what. Use AI wisely. Ako, I use AI. I made this presentation thanks to AI. Uy, pero pinagpuyatan ko yan, no? Ina-edit-edit ko pa yung animation, tsaka yung mga photos dyan. But, para mapadali yung trabaho ko, I use AI. Pero ni-review ko siya. Okay? You use AI, you can get sample writing outputs from AI. Okay? Kasi pag binasa mo yun, eventually magkaka-idea ka, ito pala yung format, ito pala yung flow. Diba? So, use AI wisely. Exam day strategy. Teka lang, hindi nyo makita tong nasa. Kasi naman tong mga nasa Zoom eh. Dito nga muna kayo, guys. What the heck is this? Okay. Ay, hindi pala talaga siya makita mabuti. Ayan. Stay calm, composed, and confident. Read instructions carefully. One mistake won't fail you. Ayun. Kailangan mabilis lang tayo mag-move on. So, before I discuss this, let me discuss with you what should you do 24 hours prior to your examination date. But before I discuss that, let me tell you what you should do a week before the examination date. Palayo na ng palayo, ano? So, kung alam mo na mag-e-exam ka soon, please make sure that you are physically prepared for it. So, yun nga. Make sure na hindi muna pumarty-party. Kung hindi talaga maiiwasan yung mga events, siguro drink moderately or party moderately. Don't let little things kind of like maging cause ng problem sa exam date. Okay? So, in order for you to prevent that, kung malayo yung bahay nyo dito sa testing center, book an accommodation. Para hindi ka ma-traffic, para hindi ka ma-hassle, di ba? Kasi syempre yung traffic, yung travel period, it will exhaust you. Kailangan fresh ka, right? So, book an accommodation. Pero kung taga dito ka lang din naman, wag na. Pero agahan mo yung gising. Kailangan sapat yung naging tulog mo. Sleep is so important, okay? Because if you don't get enough sleep, your focus is highly affected. If you don't eat enough or you're not hydrated enough, your focus is also going to be affected. So, yung mga little considerations na ganon, you really need to pay attention to that. Kasi, sayang din kapag hindi natuloy yung exam mo on that date. Pwede mo naman i-reschedule, pero sayang yung, di ba? Yun na yun eh. And then make sure na umiwas muna sa mga toxic people, yung mga nakaka-drain ng energy. Kung yung nanay mo yon siguro, doon ka muna sa bahay ng, doon ka muna sa kapitbahay niyo. Charis. Or, siya na lang ang palipatin mo. Ma, doon ka muna ha. Kasi, stress mo masyado eh. And, totoo yun ha. Kasi may mga students na nagsasabi sa akin, ma'am, kung kailan mag-i-exam ako, saka ako ini-stress nila, ma'am. Hindi, kasi yung ibang students kasi na yun, medyo close na kami. Sobrang tagal. So, nakakapag-open up na sila ng mga ganong bagay sa akin. So, I was like, yeah, nakaka-affect pala talaga, no, yung family setup and the people who are in your lives. Make sure na holistically prepared ka. Okay? So, on the exam day, you should bring the ID that you use for registration. You should make sure that you are dressed properly. Parang, hindi naman sinasabing corporate attire, pero kung kaya, mag-blazer. Maganda yon if you have a blazer. Kasi, even hindi maganda yung posture mo, or nagsaslouch ka, the blazer shows, when you're wearing a blazer, it creates an illusion that you have a better posture. So, kung ako sa inyo, wear a blazer. If you have. But if you don't, okay lang yun. Baka naman umarkila ka pa sa Mindas gown. So, hindi naman ganon. Pero, wear something na may color, something presentable. For women, not too much makeup. Baka hindi ka na ma-identify sa ID mo. And then, yun nga, fix your hair. Huwag sanang kalat-kalat sa face. Yung magmumukha kang good demeanor. You have a good demeanor, okay? Ang presentable ka tingnan, ganyan. Close shoes, very important yan. Come here an hour before your test time. Kasi, marami pang proseso yan. I-register ka pa, scan pa yung body mo, kung may mga dala ka bang illegal weapons. Terorista pala eh, no? And then, ilalak mo pa yung mga gamit mo sa locker, pipicturean ka pa. So, if dadating ka dito ng 15 minutes before, cause of delay ka pa? Diba? Ayaw mo naman yun, diba? Nakakahiya. Stay calm, composed, and confident. You will only be able to achieve calmness, composure, and confidence if you are well prepared. Your results is highly affected by how much you prepared for it. Because always, always, preparation is key. Okay? Di ka naman magiging confident na mag-exam kung hindi ka nakakatanggap ng consistent scores from your evaluators and from your mock tests. Right? Read instructions carefully. Minsan kasi sa sobrang kaba, sobrang excitement, na-overlook natin yung instructions. So, very crucial ang magbasa at intindihin. Read and understand. Baka naman binasa mo nga, hindi mo naman inintindi mabuti. So, yeah, you have to interpret the instructions carefully. And one mistake won't fail you. Let's say, marami ka ng missing answers sa first test pa lang, sa listening pa lang. Medyo mawawalan ka ng gana kasi iniisip-isip mo na siya. Ano ba yan? Pumalpak ako sa listening. So, huwag mo na masyadong dibdibin yon. Move on ka, mabilis. Isipin mo may 3 ka pang test. Just go. Okay? Minsan kasi nangyayari yun, right? Yung parang, ay, hirap ng part na yun. Wag na nga lang. Bahala na lang kung anong sasagot dito. Yun na yung magiging train of thought mo eh. Pero wag ganon. Kasi baka naman, kayaning hatakin ng reading, writing, tsaka speaking mo yung OBS mo, di ba? Alright, well, that's basically it. Key takeaway, IELTS is a skills test, not a memory test. Smart practice leads to your target band. Smart practice meaning good preparation, consistency, evaluation is so important. And of course, attendance is so important. Pero hindi kasing importante ng attendance yung consistency, ah. Kasi baka mamaya attend ka nga ng attend, wala ka namang sinasa-isip. May mga ganong students, ah, ang galing sa attendance, pero habang nasa klase, lumilipad yung utak. So, hopefully, hindi kayo ganon, okay? Anyways, do you have any questions? Sino gusto magstay for coaching? Grabe sila, pinapadali nila yung buhay ko talaga today. Ayaw nyo? Hindi kayo eligible for coaching kasi hindi pa kayo nakakapag-speaking major. Pero, if gusto nyo naman ng chance na ma-interview ko kayo ngayon, why not? I'm the kind of person who gives chances. Huy, chances! So, sa mga nasa Zoom, thank you so much for attending. Si Mimay, hindi pa kita kilala in person. Sana makilala kita. Everyone else, I know you. Camille, Allen, Rhea, Rochelle, Kenji. Si Jillian hindi pa rin or probably hindi ko lang din talaga matandaan. So guys, thank you for listening and joining. I hope you learned a thing or two today. I think I'm gonna see you next year. Oh my God. Pero sana, gusto ko bang mag-lecture pa eh. Gusto niyo pa ba? Sabihin niyo. Comment down below. Should I make another vlog? Charis, vlog pala. And please subscribe to my channel kasi guys, i-upload ko to sa channel ko. Bye! Please also, abangan nyo lang yung announcement ni Sir Kevin kung may pasok tomorrow. Bye-bye!